Have you ever walked into your home and felt cramped without really knowing why? It's not that the place is messy, but somehow the space just feels heavy, like something is quietly taking up room without you noticing. And often it's because those things have simply always been there. I know that feeling well because I used to live in it too. There were items in my home that had been sitting around for years, but little by little I started shifting my mindset. I realized I didn't have to keep living in that sense of heaviness. I found a way out slowly, gently, and it changed everything. Today, I want to walk you through 15 surprisingly common items that might be taking up space in your home for no good reason. And the best part, you don't need to make any drastic changes. Sometimes letting go of just one thing is enough to make your space and your mind feel a whole lot lighter. Let's get started. Let's start with exercise equipment. Let's be honest, most of us have bought some kind of exercise equipment with the best of intentions. A treadmill, a bike, maybe even a rowing machine. We pictured ourselves using it daily, getting stronger, feeling great. But what often happens? Life gets busy. The machine becomes a temporary shelf. Then a permanent one, a place to hang laundry, drop random bags, or stack kids' toys. And before we know it, it's taking up a huge chunk of our living room, not helping us feel better, but quietly adding to the clutter. And listen, if you genuinely use it, that's amazing. This isn't about judgment. But if it's been sitting there untouched for months, maybe it's time to rethink. Ask yourself, is this piece of equipment supporting the life I'm living now, or is it a reminder of a version of me I feel guilty for not being? You don't have to get rid of your goals. But sometimes moving unused equipment out of your main living space or letting it go entirely can bring back so much freedom and mental clarity. Especially if your home is already tight on space, removing just one bulky item can change how the entire room feels. If you're still struggling with what to keep and what to let go of, especially when it comes to emotions, I have another video that delves into the mental side of tidying things. I wish someone had told me before I started. It can help you avoid some common pitfalls and make the process a little easier. Subscribe so you don't miss out. Now back to today's content. Next, decorative baskets that just collect dust. You've probably seen them on Pinterest, those cozy looking baskets filled with throw blankets and decorative pillows tucked into a corner to give the room a warm, lived-in feel. I used to love that look too. I tried it years ago, found a nice basket, folded a few blankets just right, fluffed some extra pillows. It looked cute for about a week. But the truth, we never used those blankets. They just sat there collecting dust, and let's be real, the occasional spider web, and became one more thing to clean, one more thing to move when I vacuumed. Eventually I realized if we're not actually using them, what are they really adding to our home? So I folded the blankets and stored them with the rest of our linens, still easy to grab when we need them, but no longer cluttering up the space. And just like that, the corner felt lighter, simpler, calmer. Now, if that kind of decor brings you joy and truly works in your space, keep it. But if you're craving more breathing room and fewer things to maintain, maybe that decorative basket isn't as necessary as it seemed. Now let's move on to the next one. Number 3 is bulky kitchen appliances. Kitchen space is precious, especially when it comes to counters and cabinets. But somehow these big bulky appliances sneak in and stay long after we've stopped using them. For me, it was a slow cooker. I had one for years. I don't even eat meat, so I wasn't using it for roasts or stews. I kept thinking, one day I'll find some great bean recipes and finally use this thing. But that day never really came. Meanwhile, it sat there taking up half a shelf in the pantry, collecting dust and silently stealing space. Eventually, I let it go. And just like that, I had room for the things I do use every day, the blender, the lunch containers, the mixing bowls. My mom did the same with hers after realizing she hadn't used it in ages either. The difference in space was immediate. So if you have a waffle maker, air fryer, juicer, or mixer that you only use once every few years, it might be time to ask, is this worth the space it's taking up? Letting go doesn't mean you're giving up on cooking or on yourself. It just means you're being honest about what fits your current lifestyle and making room for what truly matters. Next is oversized entertainment units that no longer serve you. There was a time when those giant entertainment centers were all the rage, big enough to take up an entire wall filled with shelves, cabinets, and drawers for every little gadget or photo frame. Maybe you bought one years ago, or maybe it came with the house. And now it just sits there out of habit more than purpose. In our previous home, we had one of those, a heavy bottom cabinet with the TV sitting on top. Nothing fancy, but it took up so much space. When I finally decided to hang the TV on the wall and remove that cabinet, I was honestly shocked. The room instantly felt more open, more breathable, more usable, all from removing a piece of furniture we barely noticed anymore. That's the thing about big furniture. We get so used to seeing it, we stop questioning whether it still fits our life. So here's a gentle nudge if you've got a bulky entertainment center you're not truly using. Ask yourself, what would this space feel like without it? Would your living room feel calmer? Could you move around more freely? Chances are letting it go might create more freedom than you expect, not just for your home, but for your mind too. Number 5 is coffee table stools and side tables that just get in the way. Somewhere along the way, we picked up this idea that a living room isn't complete without a coffee table in the middle, or side tables on either end of the couch, or extra stools and ottomans tucked into corners just in case. But for many of us, especially those with kids or smaller spaces, all those extra surfaces can quickly become more of a burden than a benefit. In our home, we don't have a coffee table in the main living room, and honestly, I don't miss it. With young kids, the open floor space is way more valuable. They can build Lego roll-around play games. I can walk through the room without zigzagging around furniture. And perhaps best of all, there's no table constantly collecting cups, clutter, or stray toys. My mom made the same choice in her home. She told me she just loves how open and calm it feels without that big table in the center. If you truly use your coffee table every day for meals, working, whatever, that's completely valid. But if it mostly holds clutter, it might be worth asking, what if we tried life without it? Same goes for stools, poofs, or little storage cubes. One or two can be helpful, but too many, especially pushed up against walls or corners, can quietly shrink your space and make a room feel cramped. Sometimes less furniture doesn't mean less function, it means more freedom to actually live in your space. Now let's move on to the next one. Next is extra chairs in bedrooms and bathrooms that just hold clutter. At first glance, a pretty accent chair in the bedroom or even in a spacious bathroom can seem like a nice touch. A cozy place to sit, or just make the room feel finished. But let's be honest, how often do we actually sit in those chairs? For most of us, they end up serving a different purpose, one we didn't intend. They become the temporary laundry pile, the place we drop bags, folded clothes we didn't quite put away, or random stuff we're not sure what to do with. I've seen decorative chairs in bathrooms too, and I always think, wow, that must be nice to have that kind of space. But in our house, there's barely room to turn around in the bathroom, let alone add furniture. So here's the real question, is that chair serving you, or just holding your clutter? If you use it regularly, keep it. But if it's become a dumping ground, you might be better off with the empty space. Because an open corner is sometimes more calming than a stylish seat you never sit in. Number 7 is Entryway. There's something so charming about entryway tables, a little spot to drop your keys, light a candle, maybe place a pretty bowl or seasonal decor. In big open foyers, it can look absolutely stunning. But let's be honest, not all of us have that kind of space. Our entryway, for example, is basically just a narrow hallway. For years I kept thinking, maybe I could squeeze a little table here. But deep down, I knew the truth. If I added a table, we'd trip over it every day. Shoes would pile up underneath. Mail would stack on top. It would become another clutter zone, not a peaceful welcome home. Sometimes we try to copy what we see online or in bigger homes, forgetting that real homes, our homes, have limits. And that's okay. If your entry space feels cramped, you might not need more furniture, just less stuff. Hooks on the wall, a small basket for essentials, or even just an intentional empty space can be enough. Functional doesn't always mean adding more, sometimes it means letting go of what doesn't fit your reality. Now let's move on to the next one. Next is display cabinets and decorative shelves. You've probably seen them, those tall glass cabinets or shelves filled with decorations, souvenirs, and collectibles. They can look lovely, especially in large homes where space isn't an issue. But in a smaller space, they often turn into storage for things you rarely look at and never use. And slowly, they begin to make the room feel more cluttered than calm. I've seen this in my own family. My mom has 2 curio cabinets in her home, and they actually work well for her. She has the room and the items inside bring her joy. But in our home, it was a different story. We didn't have the extra floor space, and the things I was displaying didn't even mean that much to me anymore. They were just there. So instead of keeping a full cabinet for decoration's sake, I started choosing a few pieces I really loved and displaying them in more open, useful places. A simple shelf on the wall, a little spot on the living room console, not hidden away, but part of our everyday space. You don't have to stop decorating. But if a cabinet or shelf is only there to hold stuff you barely notice, letting it go might give you more room to enjoy the things that truly matter. Now we come to benches or seating at the end of the bed. In photos, it looks beautiful, a perfectly styled bench, or even a small sofa placed gracefully at the foot of the bed. It feels luxurious, polished, Pinterest-worthy. And I'll be honest, I used to dream of that too. But the reality, our bedroom is about 12 by 12 feet. By the time we fit in the bed and leave space to walk around, there's no room for anything extra. If we added a bench, we'd be squeezing sideways just to make the bed or get dressed. That's when it hit me. Sometimes the dream setup just doesn't match real life, and that's not a failure. It's clarity. If your bedroom is feeling tight or a little suffocating, try removing just one extra piece, even something small. You might be surprised how much more peaceful and breathable the space feels when it's not trying to live up to a decorating trend. And remember, it's not about making your space look like someone else's, it's about making it work for you. Now let's move on to the next one. Number 10 is decorative items. It's easy to collect home decor over the years: vases, picture frames, seasonal signs, candles, or cute little things you once loved. But what happens when those items no longer fit your space or style? Often we pack them into boxes and think, maybe I'll use it again someday. But if those boxes stay closed for months or years, they're not helping your home. They're just taking up storage space that could be used for things you actually need. A simple rule to try if you haven't used or displayed a decorative item in over a year, ask yourself honestly, do I still even like it? If not, it might be time to let it go. Less decor doesn't mean less beauty. It means the items you do keep can actually stand out and be appreciated. Now we come to guest rooms. Having a guest room sounds like the ultimate in hospitality, a quiet, cozy space ready for visitors anytime. And if you regularly host overnight guests, it can absolutely be worth it. But here's the thing, in many homes, that guest room gets used just a few times a year. The rest of the time, it's basically a storage space with a bed. Or worse, a perfectly good room that no one steps into, just sitting there just in case. That was exactly how it was in the house I grew up in. My parents had a guest bedroom downstairs that stayed untouched for years. It was clean, nicely made, and completely unused. Eventually, they turned it into a home office, and now they use it every single day. A more practical option for some families is to make the guest room multifunctional, like a workspace, hobby room, or playroom that can also host guests occasionally. A pull-out couch foldable bed, or even an air mattress can make that flexibility possible without sacrificing valuable space all year round. If your guest room is truly serving your family, keep it. But if it's sitting empty most of the time, ask yourself, could this space be doing more for your day-to-day life? You deserve to use every square meter of your home, not save it for maybe someday. Now let's move on to the next one. Number 12 is old speakers and bulky sound systems. Back in the day, big speakers were the best way to enjoy music or movies at home. They were powerful, impressive, and huge. Some even needed special stands or shelves to hold them. But times have changed. Now we have compact soundbars and wireless speakers that take up almost no space and often sound even better. Yet many people still keep those big old systems, even if they haven't been used in years. Sometimes it's because they were expensive. Sometimes it's just habit. But if those speakers are collecting dust, taking up floor space, or sitting in a corner, no one touches. Might be time to ask, why am I still holding on to this? Letting go doesn't mean you're throwing away memories. It just means you're choosing space simplicity and tech that actually works for your life today. Now let's move on to the next one. Next is toy storage in shared living spaces. If you have kids or grandkids, you know how quickly toys can take over a home. One bin turns into two. Then a shelf, then a full corner of the living room becomes a mini toy store. And even when you try to keep things organized, toys in shared spaces often end up scattered, forgotten, and left out. Not because your kids are messy, but because the toys are always there within reach all the time. That's why I stopped keeping toys in our main living area. Now they stay in the kids' rooms, and that simple shift has made a huge difference. The living room feels calmer, there's more room for everyone, and the kids still play, but they also learn to clean up and take responsibility for their space. When toys have a home in their own room, it's easier to teach kids a habit, play and joy, and then put things back. Over time, this routine becomes second nature. It teaches them ownership, reduces the mess, and gives you less to manage at the end of the day. If your living room constantly feels chaotic, take a look at what's being stored there. Could some of it be moved to a bedroom or playroom? Even just one small change can bring back a sense of peace for both kids and adults. Now let's move on to the next one. Number 14 is oversized sofas and furniture. These days, so many couches and chairs are designed to be huge with thick armrests, deep backs, and lots of extra padding. In the showroom, they look cozy and luxurious. But once they're in a smaller home, they take over everything. I remember walking through a furniture store recently and thinking these pieces are beautiful, but they'd swallow up our whole living room. The problem isn't comfort, it's scale. Big, bulky furniture might offer more cushions, but it often makes your space feel crowded and heavy. It blocks movement limits flexibility and can even make cleaning harder. The good news, you don't have to give up comfort. Choosing furniture with a slimmer, more compact design can still feel cozy while helping your room feel open and easy to breathe in. So before you bring home that oversized sectional, ask yourself, will this piece support how I actually live or just make the space feel tighter? Now let's move on to the last one. The last one is too many plants. I love plants, truly. They bring life into a room, purify the air, and add a natural calming touch that no other decor can replace. But even something beautiful can become overwhelming, especially when there's too much of it. Over time, a few pots can turn into a full jungle plants on shelves hanging from ceilings, crowding windowsills and corners. And suddenly, instead of feeling calm and fresh, the space starts to feel cluttered and hard to clean. I've even had moments where I looked at a struggling plant dropping leaves and thought, why am I still trying to make this work? Sometimes the best thing you can do for your space and your peace of mind is to let a few of them go. You don't have to get rid of every plant, but stepping back and choosing your favorites, the ones you truly enjoy caring for and seeing. Every day can make your home feel more intentional, more open, and more breathable. You can also group plants together in one dedicated spot, like by a sunny window instead of scattering them all over the house. The goal isn't to make your home feel empty, but to make it feel clear and calm. Fewer plants doesn't mean less beauty. It just means the ones that stay get to truly shine. Sometimes the things that take up the most space in our home aren't the ones we see right away. But little by little, as we become more aware and more honest, it gets easier to let go of what no longer fits. And remember, you don't have to do it all at once. Even choosing just one item from today's list to remove can open up space in your home and in your mind. If you're still feeling unsure about what to keep or let go of, especially when emotions are involved, I have another video that dives into the mental side of decluttering, the things I wish someone had told me before I started. It might help you avoid a few common struggles and make the process feel a little lighter. Subscribe so you don't miss out. I'll see you there.